Hey, today we're making a Kurdish chickpea and chicken stew, in Kurdish called Afika nûka or Nokaw. And before we get started, I want to say welcome, and if you haven't already subscribed, please make sure you click that subscribe button and hit the notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new video. I post new Kurdish recipes every week. Now let's get started with the ingredients we're going to need. Today I'm taking a shortcut by using pre-cooked chickpeas, which I've rinsed thoroughly. And today I also learned that in some regions, this dish is made with dried split peas instead, and they call this dish frujo. I'll leave a link to a version of that recipe in the description box for whoever is interested in checking it out. And getting back to this recipe and the ingredients, here I also have a whole chicken which I've cut up, lots and lots of onions, some bay leaves, turmeric, and piri peppers. If you don't like things spicy, use less piri peppers or substitute it for some ground black pepper instead. And sometimes I even throw in some curry powder and or cumin, so feel free to experiment and adjust it to your liking. But today this is what I'm going with. For my salt content and extra flavor, I'll be using some chicken bouillon cubes. Make sure you taste your broth and stew towards the end to see if you need to add any extra salt or not. And finally, I have some tahini from Ahmediya. This is optional. I leave it out many times depending on what I'm craving and what I have on hand. But for a slightly thicker and creamier stew, definitely add some tahini. For all the ingredients and amounts, check the description box. Add the chicken pieces to a large pot. I removed most of the skin except for on the wings and the back of the chicken. This will add enough fat to the dish, and all those bones will make the stew taste amazing. You can make this dish with any chicken pieces that you like, and at this stage I will only add the bay leaves and enough cold water to cover the chicken and bring my pot to a boil. Once it starts to simmer, go ahead and skim any of the scum that floats to the surface. And when you've gotten yourself a clear stock, add your chicken bouillon cubes, turmeric, piri peppers, and onions, which I've cut into wedges. Stir everything around, and if you need more water, at this point make sure you're using boiling water. And how much you need depends on how you prefer your stew. I try to always make sure I have just enough liquid where it covers all the ingredients. Now cover your pot and simmer your stew for about 30 minutes. At this point, you want to go ahead and add your cooked, washed, and drained chickpeas and stir everything around. Now is also a good time to taste your stock to see if you need to adjust any of the seasoning. From here on, you have two options. You can either leave the stew as is, and once you've simmered it for the remaining 20 to 30 minutes, you're ready to serve it. Or you can add a little bit of tahini to give the stew some body, thickness, and extra nuttiness, which is what I'll be doing. Add a little bit of the hot stock to your tahini and mix it well to avoid your stock and tahini separating once it goes in the pot. You can see how it separates in the bowl, but continue to mix it until it comes together and forms this creamy and smooth texture. And now it's ready to be added to the stew without the risk of anything separating. Afika nûka is naturally a thin stew, so don't expect the tahini to make it super rich and lush, but it will change things up compared to if you leave it out. Now cover and simmer for the remaining 20 to 30 minutes, and you're ready to have this deliciousness with some white rice. One of my uncles introduced me to having this with a sprinkle of ground sumac, and I haven't had it any other way since. You have to give it a try. That's all for today. I hope you liked this recipe, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you on the next one.